For years, the federal student loan system operated as a sprawling, tangled web. Borrowers trying to manage their debt had to navigate overlapping income-driven repayment plans with confusing acronyms like PAYE, ICR, and SAVE. Many of these plans contained a brutal mathematical trap known as negative amortization. Borrowers would make every required monthly payment only to watch their total loan balances steadily climb because those payments weren't large enough to cover the accruing interest. The government tried to fix this through the SAVE plan, but that effort hit a hard wall in federal court, leaving millions of borrowers frozen in administrative forbearance. Now, Congress has intervened with a hard reset. In July 2026, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act, or OBBBA, takes effect, entirely dismantling the old repayment infrastructure. This creates immediate tension for anyone currently holding federal student debt. The older repayment plans will officially sunset by 2028, and the entire system is being bottlenecked into exactly 2 repayment paths. Borrowers are facing a binary choice. We need to look at the math to see if this forced shift to 2 distinct paths is an actual lifeline for people in debt or a strategic financial trap designed by the government. The first new path available to borrowers is the tiered standard plan. Notably, the government has eliminated the traditional 10-year standard fixed repayment timeline that most borrowers defaulted into for decades. This chart shows how the new fixed timelines work. Your repayment period scales strictly based on your total debt balance. If you owe less than $25,000, you have 10 years to pay it off. If your balance exceeds $100,000, your timeline extends to 25 years. If you need an income-based option, you are routed to the second path, the Repayment Assistance Plan, or RAP. Going forward, this is the sole surviving income-driven option. This illustrates RAP's primary benefit, eliminating negative amortization through automatic unpaid interest waivers. If your loan accrues $100 in interest, but your RAP payment is $50, the government permanently waives the remaining $50. Your payment directly reduces the principal. RAP also includes a few secondary protections. Monthly payments are prorated for married couples, so they aren't overcharged based on a spouse's income, and payments made under the plan remain fully compatible with the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. For borrowers, this system solves the most painful psychological burden of carrying student debt. It guarantees mathematically that if you make your consistent required payments, your actual balance will go down. These interest waivers come with a significant catch for the borrower. The underlying formulas that dictate repayment have been rewritten entirely. They extract more capital over the life of the loan. Under the old plans, payments were calculated using discretionary income, which shielded a significant portion of a borrower's earnings. RAP calculates monthly payments using total adjusted gross income, a much stricter metric that yields a higher calculated payment for many borrowers. The new law enforces a mandatory $10 minimum payment, no matter how low income falls, and extends the maximum repayment timeline up to 30 years. When you apply these stricter individual payment formulas across tens of millions of borrowers, the macroeconomic impact is massive. Analysis from the Brookings Institution shows exactly how this benefits the federal budget. This graph charts the Congressional Budget Office projections for the new repayment structures. By extending the repayment timelines and using the stricter adjusted gross income metric, the government expects to save an estimated $271 billion over the next decade. The math of the RAP system is a highly calculated exchange. Borrowers receive simplicity and a guarantee of principal reduction, while the government secures longer repayment periods and extracts payments based on stricter income assessments. The OBBBA also attacks the debt problem at its source by restricting how much money students can access in the first place. For graduate students, the era of limitless Grad PLUS loans is over. Most graduate borrowing is now capped at $100,000 total, while Parent PLUS loans face a strict new ceiling of $20,000 per year. The law also introduces a harsh new performance standard called the Earnings Accountability Rule. This metric directly ties a university's eligibility to receive federal loan money to the actual post-college income of its graduates. Here's how the test works. College programs must graduate students who out-earn the average high school diploma holder. If graduates earn less, it's flagged. Failing 2 out of 3 consecutive years means permanently losing federal student loan money. The government is aggressively shifting the financial risk of low-return degrees. Taxpayers will no longer subsidize programs that fail to deliver a premium in the labor market. placing the risk squarely on the universities themselves. The chaotic, unrestricted borrowing that defined the last 20 years is ending. Federal student aid is now governed by a series of mathematical locks. The logic of the OBBA legislation operates on two fronts. It enforces rigid, hard-capped borrowing limits on the front end and demands predictable, mathematically strict repayment plans on the back end. This framework forces both prospective students and academic institutions to evaluate the true economic return on investment before any paperwork is signed or tuition is charged. The Great Repayment Reset signals the end of consequence-free borrowing. Moving forward, universities, students, and the government are all forced to face the unavoidable mathematical reality of higher education debt.